Okay, so it's Sunday morning and I'm on Penn Avenue. See the O'Reilly Theater right there? And I want to take this morning's presentation and give you an update of what I feel is important about the mental conditions of homeless people, because I think I haven't emphasized it enough. Although I have stated it in previous videos, I am appalled of what I'm seeing on these streets, folks. There are so many homeless people who are so out of it. This beautiful city, look how beautiful Penn Avenue is. It's early Sunday morning, so it's dead. You get to walk around and breathe a little bit, and you get to see all the wonderful culture that Pittsburgh has to offer. And at the same time, you're hearing me talk about something that I feel is very personal and serious to me, and it's the mentally ill homeless. There are so many. Last night in the shelter, things took a turn for the worse. I'm not going to mention which one it is, but I stayed there last night and there was fights. There were actually several of them. There are so many people here in Pittsburgh that are walking the streets homeless, that are just mentally out of it. The mental illness is staggering. It's absolutely staggering. As I continue to be out in these streets more and observe things and record things for you and showing you things, I'm seeing more myself, and this is why I'm making this video this morning, because I want to tell you how bad, you can't fathom how bad this is, of people walking the streets that are they're out of it. And what really pisses me off about it is you have people on welfare in this country who are completely capable of getting a job, getting up off their ass and working, as opposed to people who have nowhere to lay their head, are completely out of it, have no money, and are compelled to walk the streets of Pittsburgh. Those are the people, in my view, that should be getting the welfare. And it's just, I can't believe that this city is letting this go on. This city is just one example. Every city in the United States that has a homeless problem, every town in the United States that has a homeless problem. And I can tell you that all those towns and all those cities also have people who are homeless because of their mental state. Their mental state prevents them from working. It prevents them from holding a job. It prevents them from living in a place. I don't want to bring politics into this, even though that's, part of the problem, but back in the early 80s, mid 80s, when the mental institutions, specifically here in Pennsylvania, were being shut down, a lot of these homeless people were being cast out into the street. Consequently, you see that today. It is a result of that. It just breaks my heart to see these people out in the streets, because they have no way of making a living. They can't. They're incompetent. They're mentally gone. They have schizophrenia. They have psychosis. Whatever it is that they have, and nobody helps them. They don't have family members. They don't have friends. They don't have relatives, and they're forced to live on these streets. They're forced to walk these streets all day until you go to a homeless shelter at night, and then come 5:30 in the morning, they kick your ass out, and you're back on the street. It's basically a jail is what it is. Most people will tell you homeless shelters are nothing but jails. Now, some people may disagree with that statement I just made. Whatever, but I mean, if you've never been in one, then you don't know what I'm talking about. If you've never been in one and you've never smelled one and, never eaten the food there, then you can easily, disagree with me. But I got to tell you, folks, it's absolutely terrible what I see out in these streets. There's nobody helping these people. They're just walking around completely out of it. So when I tell people, when you help a homeless person, it's important to remember, and I'm not trying to say this because I don't want to impress the idea inside you that you should not help a homeless person, but be careful, because a lot of them suffer from mental illness, And depending on what they're suffering from, they could be violent, they could react to you in a violent way because so many people are cruel to them. And, you know, they could take your kind reaction as unfriendly reaction. So just, you know, use your best judgment, go with your gut instinct, and if you plan on helping somebody who's homeless, that's a wonderful thing to do. But just use caution, just to protect yourself. Because so many of these people out here have been abused, neglected for so long, it's all they know. And nobody seems to care, nobody's doing anything about it. And in this video, this is why I'm doing it, because I'm trying to emphasize how bad the situation here in Pittsburgh, how bad the mental illness homeless population is. It's insane. It's insanely high. I'm just, every day I'm seeing more and more and more of homeless people who, after having a few conversations with them and observing their behavior patterns, they have mental illness. They have it. They can't go and get a job. They couldn't even go to job fucking Walmart because they can't. They just don't have the capacity to do it. They just don't. And these people can't even get a welfare check. When I know fully bodied, perfectly healthy people capable of getting the job have welfare as a way of life. So the idea is now, what do you do with these people? Who can help them? What can we do to help? I'd like to hear your comments. I'd like to hear your suggestions. I'd like to hear what you think should be done. Because I have a few ideas, and I'm going to reveal them at the end of this series when I'm done with it, and I don't know when that's going to be. You don't know when it's going to be. You're just going to have to take my word for it. I'm trying to cover a lot of the aspects of the seriousness of this situation, not just myself, but for all my brothers and sisters who are out here on the streets, because nobody should be out here on the streets, but trust me, there's a lot of them. So with that said, I would really like to know what you think should be done, because I'm going to tell you now, and again, I'm not trying to bring politics into this, but we're just not doing enough. When I see mentally ill people on the streets that are completely incapable of holding a job, and as a result of that illness that they have, they are forced to live out in the streets, that's a problem. That's a problem that needs to be corrected. Because these people don't commit crimes, they haven't done anything bad, they just lost their faculties. And they're being punished for that. Yes, they're being punished for it. So let me know what you think should be done. I'd love to hear your comments, I'd love to hear your suggestions, and let's try to work something out. Let's see if we can agree with something. Let's try to get a project going, and I would love to hear it. So guys, with that said, I'm going to close this video out. I'm going to go to a couple places and try to stay warm. Sundays are kind of iffy in Pittsburgh because there's not a lot of places open. So I'm going to try and stay warm. I wish all you guys a good and happy and healthy weekend, and I'll see you in the next vlog. I'm out.